Welcome to Connective Impact Hub podcast. Today, in collaboration with Civil Society Development Center in Durrës, we're here to establish and discuss around three essential pillars in meaningful work in civil society and media. These three very important pillars are ethics, research, and credibility. These are not just concepts. They are very important values that shape trust, participation, and impact in our community. Joining us is Mrs. Miriam Ricci, representing the Civil Society Development Center in Durrës, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
To start, the organization Civil Society Development Center has a strong focus on good governance, citizen participation, and empowering civil society actors. Can you please tell us how the organization was founded and what problem it originally aimed to address in Durrës?
Eventually, Civil Society Development Center was established in 2001, and it was part of umbrella of OEC and SNV, Deutsche Organization for Development, which aimed to strengthen the community development in 6 areas of Albania, mainly in Shkodra, Kuksi, Vlora, Korça, Durrës, and Elbasan, which means that by that time, 24 years ago, it was kind of a gap between communication of local governance and community. So the aim was to mobilize and to empower individuals and communities that were coming together for a better perspective or impact of local decision making. So after many years, we are now in the period when many projects are established and based on community empowerment, and also we work mainly with different disadvantaged groups, with women, with Roma community, and with people living in urban areas, but of course also with youth, because having in mind that Durrës is the second important city in Albania, there are a lot of energy that should be empowered within youth.
Mm-hmm. As many times, when you start a foundation, a process, whatever it is, there's always in the starting process there are challenges that you face. Which were the main challenges that the organization faced in the beginning stages of
its founders or its establishment? Of course, a sector of civil society, as all other sectors, has its own challenges and difficulties. There are some, let's say, official or let's say bureaucratic challenges that are faced. Mm-hmm. Having, let's say, an office, premises, having established according to the law, according to the requirements, legal requirements, that needs a lot of efforts and a specific person that is, let's say, specialized in economy or law in order to establish, let's say, the infrastructure of the organization. And after that is the challenge of human resources. Because when you work in a civil society organization, you need to have people that are, let's say, have some strong point, that are have experience and have some skills that would be likely to put into practice. And of course, it needs a lot of efforts, let's say, everyday efforts, in order to keep continuance, to keep a linear approach, let's say, in terms of you aim to address a concern in society. You have to build good project proposals, to send it and to apply to donors, to win the project and to implement it. Mm-hmm. And this needs a lot of focus and coordination and collaboration. So you need human resources. By the other side, you need partners. In terms of establishing a network of partners, it might be representatives of local governance, central governance. You need partners in the community, in marginalized groups, in community-based groups, other non-profit organizations that are operating in your community. So these are partnerships. And also you need good expertise in marketing, in putting into visibility the whole things that you are doing, and keeping focus on the objectives, because you may start with objectives in the very first beginning of the implementation of the projects, but you need to keep an eye on the objectivity till the end in order to be successful. And of course, it's a place where in this sector there is a lot of competition. So you need to create your profile in organization where you work. You need to have, let's say, a voice that you make efforts to change something in community for better, but to have your own profile in terms of many organizations that might be around your community that works for the same purpose. Let's say that is the development or good governance or other specific objectives that might have.
I understand. Based on the research and what was seen, the organization works very closely with nonprofits, community groups, media, individuals, and it offers lots of training, workshops, seminars, support, collaboration opportunities. One of the main thing that the youth usually suffers in a way, it can be students that are going through school or finish school, is the very confusing time after you finish school and needing experience to start somewhere. And also I can speak from my personal experience, just finishing school, you're not sure where to start, if you are good enough to start somewhere, if without the experience will be able to succeed or not. And the question is, can you share a specific project or experience where ethics, research and credibility played a key role in the outcome of the project?
It might be a lot of experiences on cases, but I would like to share some of cases when youth people and young individuals has been contributing voluntarily in civil society development centers 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, and they were in the same conditions that you mentioned. They studied in university, different degrees, but were not sure to be involved in the job market because of that gap, that sometimes the curricula in university do not fit with the skills that you need to have when you work. So there is a transition, let's say, period between after school, after graduation, and when you start a job. And that period, it's good that whoever do not find immediately a job and fit within their expertise could be volunteering or could find a job in the sector of civil society development center. In this regard, I remember many youth activists that we had that has been involved in activities. Among some of them, I may mention that voluntarily they have been contributing in institutions that were serving psychological and social assistance for people in need. For example, elderly center, pediatrician hospital, or the center for assisting people with disabilities, or center that is administrated by a municipality that deals with Roma and Egyptian community. And so in this regard, they gained kind of experience that helped them a lot to start easy a job later on. In this expertise, I may mention very valuable moment when you offer yourself to be a volunteer. You meet a lot of people. You meet people from community, you meet school directors, you meet head of businesses, you meet community members that have different professions. You may meet the mayor, vice mayor, directory in the municipality. You may meet a deputy that can find you way how to start, or can you refer to you to a job position that may fit your expertise and profession. So meeting a lot of people and creating kind of a network of knowledge around, it helps you to come up with a moment in your professionality that might help you for further. Mm-hmm. And this is, I think, that is the most impressive moment when I see young people that have been contributing in the society through local organizations, and they find easily themselves in a career of the profession that they do have. But of course there is this gap that you need to fill it in. Of course it depends from one person to another. Somebody can be much more involved to work in businesses voluntarily. Some others might be in organization, local organizations. Some other would prefer to volunteer in state institutions. It depends on where your vocational perspective is, or where your energy would like to go. But of course today conditions are that every youth, if they have such a little willing to contribute, there is a lot of space or opportunities to contribute.
As you clearly stated, in order for the youth to fill that gap is to participate in organization. What advice would you give to the young people who want to work ethically and also responsibly, but feel unsure about the first steps?
The first steps are never easy. So you always need to have a mentor, let's say. Of course, when you work in an institution or in a business, or you work in a local organization, you would have there a person that is much more experienced than you. So this might be a mentor. So just follow your mentor, because his or her expertise, it's a guide for you. Secondly, do not touch after the visibility, the show, the visibility. Marketing, it is something, but it's not everything. So keep your ethic and your morals in place in terms of if you are serving to people in need, it might be a lot of obstacles and challenges, but this is how they function. You need to be, every day might be with them, and your ethic in communication is much more important than the visibility or the show or the marketing around. And thirdly, I may say that day after day, the process of the increase will come. So do not aim since the beginning that you are successful. Sometimes you may fail, a lot of failure. The people that you see most successfully today in civil society are people who have failed a lot of times previously. So when you are young, it's normally to fail. In one activity, something is not going good, some other results are not coming, you are trying to produce a report and it's not qualitative. These kind of failures builds some skills that you will need for the future in order to succeed. So failure in the beginning is not everything. It's just a start that in the future you will gain a lot of expertise and experience and will have success. Or the organization contribution is very, very important, and sometimes not always it's meaningful. Based on your experience, what skills should the youth or young people focus on developing if they want to contribute meaningfully? Young people are there to find themselves in their own career, and of course they can position themselves in the career that fit with their profession, and also in some sectors that may fit in. For example, we mentioned that they could build a career into institutions, state institutions, in the business sector, and also in the third sector that is civil society. Of course, to go through personal and professional career, there are many challenges, but to have an ethic and let's say a responsible career, it might be good to build, as we mentioned, the network and to maintain the network, and also to benefit from new resources. Let's say there are a lot of youth exchange and Erasmus Plus and other mobility programs that nowadays are very often spread around youth. A young person should take the chance. Even when you are at school, in university, after you graduated, there are a lot of opportunity for youth exchange, and this may help you not to be anymore within the box. You expand the box, you are out of the, let's say, the pillars that the society in Albania has defined, and you can gain experience also outside the country. So I would encourage very much the youth to take these opportunities in order to learn more, to be more professional, and to see other society, how are they developed, and to modify, let's say, or adapt whatever experience they gain outside the country, and to modify it and to let's say implement in our context. So it's only that when you are a student you can study abroad and have double degree diplomas, but of course after you are now a professionalist, you can gain experience outside the country through working or studying, and bring back the experience in our context, our community. This opportunity is for the first time very, very intensive in our society. In the previous generation that was missing. In the period 20 years ago, 25 years ago, nobody was thinking to go abroad and to gain experience. Now it's the borders are open, and there are a lot of challenges and opportunities for young people to catch the moment and to be much more professional, not only for themselves as a person, but to integrate that knowledge within the society and the development of the society where they live. In this context, I would say also that youth could not see only opportunity to develop their career outside, but especially to find a moment in their life to come back and to give that opportunity and that experience in their community development.
In order to conclude our meaningful discussion, if you had to describe the mission of the organization in one sentence using the words ethic, research and credibility, what would you say?
I would say that Civil Society Development Center for years already is focused on empowering community and working in ethic context, and also in keeping the communication with local and central governance in a responsible way in order to raise transparency and accountability, and to raise the awareness of community members for much better change and democratization.
Mrs. Serci, I would like to thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights with us. Ethics, research and credibility are not just ideals, they are practical tools for building stronger communities, transparent organization and meaningful change. To everyone listening, especially the youth, the young people, your voice matters. Step in, participate and help shape ethical, credible and inclusive futures. Thank you for listening to the Connective Impact Hub podcast.